Welcome to English Tutorials. This is Neha and our today's topic will be noun. In my previous video, I have stated clearly what are the parts of speech, and we have already discussed about the introduction of the different parts of speech, that is the 8 parts of speech. Today we will deal with a particular topic, that is noun. We have learned earlier that a noun is generally defined as a person, place, things, or ideas. My today's video is actually based upon the types of noun and obviously their examples. So, we will start with proper noun. A proper noun is actually a specific name for a particular person, place, or thing. Even there is a speciality, that is that proper nouns are always capitalized in English, no matter where they fall in a sentence. That means if they fall in the middle of a sentence, still they are written in capital letters. Like here, for example, we can see that he plays for Sydney Sixers. So here the noun is Sydney Sixers, and it is a proper noun which can be identified by the help of the speciality which I just now told you, that is the usage of capital letters. Number 2, he was born in England. So England is the name of a particular place, and it is also written in capital letter. The E is written in capital letter. So hence we can conclude that England is the proper noun. In the same way, many examples are given over here. I have written the proper noun in bold for your help, so please go through it. Next, common noun. Common nouns name any person, place, things, or ideas. That means, on the other hand, they are not capitalized unless they come at the beginning of a sentence. Just as the contrary of the proper noun, common nouns are never written in capital letters wherever they come in the sentence. Only one exception is there, that is when we start the letter or when we start a sentence and the first word we usually write in capital letters. That means common noun is only capitalized when started in a sentence, in the beginning of a sentence. Common nouns are the generic name of a person, place, or thing in a class or group. Unlike proper noun, a common noun is not capitalized until it either begins a sentence or appears in a title. Alright? Here I have mentioned a difference between a common and proper noun. You can go through it. Next is the examples. See, there are certain examples given over here. You can see that every state has different rules and laws. Here the noun is state, every state. But here no proper noun is used. Only common noun is found over here, and we found the common noun in the very beginning of the sentence, that is every state. So as it is in the beginning of the sentence, the word is in the beginning of a sentence, so it is capitalized. Otherwise it would not have been done so. It will be clear with our second example. You see, the baby is crying for his toy car. Here The nouns are baby, toy, car. See, everything is written in small letter. That means there are different and numerous amount of babies, toys, and cars in the whole world. So they falls under the common category. They're not specialized. So they are all written in small letters. All right. Next is collective noun. Now, this collective noun, from its very pronunciation or it's from its very spelling, we can see that it comes from the word collect. It comes from the word collect. And it means that it is a collection of things taken as a whole. Like here I have written, you can see that a collective noun is a noun that refers to a group of individuals. It is also known as group noun. Collective nouns can be replaced by both singular and plural pronouns depending on their meaning. That means when in place of a noun, we replace the noun with the pronouns, we all know. But in case of collective noun, we can either replace it with singular pronoun or with plural pronoun. It depends basically on its meaning. Alright? Examples are given. A band of musicians, a board of directors, choir of singers, class of students. This all fall under the category of human beings, right? Next, if we see, it comes under the category of animals and birds. See, an army of ants, a flock of birds, a flock of sheep, a herd of deer. And here this falls and this rest four falls under the category of things. A fleet of ships, a forest of trees, a galaxy of stars, and last one, a pack of cards. So these are some of the examples of collective noun. Next is material or concrete noun. They are more or less same. So if we understand one, then the concept of the next one will be clear to us. They are more or less same. All right. Now we actually experience concrete nouns through our five senses. Now what are the five senses? That is sight, smell, hearing, taste and touch. We all know. So for experiencing this concrete noun, we have to go through our senses. Like a concrete or material noun is the name of something or someone that we experience through our senses. Those are sight, hearing, smell, touch or taste. Concrete nouns are simply those nouns that can be experienced physically rather than abstractly. Our next topic will be abstract noun. There you will see this concrete and abstract, they are just contrary to each other. That means for abstract noun, we cannot touch it, we cannot smell it, we cannot taste it, we cannot hear it rather. But on the other hand, for this concrete or material noun, we use our five senses to identify it. So this is very important. And for I did not give any of the examples for concrete and material noun because whatever we see around us, everything belongs to this category. So here I have written that take a look around you and you will see many examples of concrete noun. I would like to say that it is your part, it is the part of the readers to identify the concrete or the material noun by your own self. Last one is abstract noun. Abstract noun, on the other hand, is a noun that cannot be perceived using any one of the five senses. Abstract nouns are types of noun that you can't see or touch. A noun is a person, place, or thing. However, in many cases, that thing may be an abstract form of noun. Now, what is the abstract form of noun? That is what we need to know. In this instant, abstract refers to something that exists apart from concrete existence. An abstract noun may include an aspect, concept, idea, experience, state of being, trait, quality, feeling, or other entity that can't be experienced with the five senses. In different fields, here I have categorized for your help. That is, when we are to express any kind of emotions or feelings, this kind of words we generally use, or this kind of words are generally used under this heading, like love, hate, anger, peace, pride, these things. And there are many more examples rather. So these things you cannot just see by your naked eyes, like love love can't be seen, can't be touched, can't be heard, right? Hate, anger, peace, pride, all these things. Next is states or attributes. Under this heading falls bravery, honesty, loyalty, success, courage. They don't have any particular shape of their own. All right, we cannot see it. It is not having any kind of or any definite shape, any size, any color, odor, right? In the same way, when we are to describe the ideas or concepts or any kind of ideals, we use this kind of words such as belief, dream, justice, truth, knowledge, all these things. There are many more examples. Last one is movements or events like friendship, education, trouble, relaxation, progress, and many more. So, these were all about the types of noun. I think this video will be helpful to you. And just like the previous video, in this video also I have attached a link for the PDF file of the worksheet. It may be useful to you. Go through it, try to solve. And my next video will be based upon the types of pronoun. Thank you very much. Bye bye.